I'm going to Miami with my friend, and you'll have to deal with it, Henry, said Ella, my wife of 10 years. I smiled and calmly replied, Great, but I froze your cards this morning. Her face changed when she realized that her girl's vacation with her new lover had just run into a serious problem. Henry's fingers flew across his laptop, debugging a stubborn line of code, when Ella's voice cut through the quiet of their Phoenix home. I'm going to Miami with Vanessa next week, she declared, her tone sharp, final. This isn't up for discussion. Henry froze, his eyes lifting from the screen. Ella stood across the kitchen island, scrolling her phone with a practiced intensity that signaled trouble. 10 years of marriage had taught him to read her moods, and this one screamed defiance. He closed his laptop, forcing calm. When did you decide this? He asked, keeping his voice steady. Ella didn't look up. Last week. Flights are booked. I've got a suite at a South Beach hotel. Her words landed like a pre-rehearsed script, each syllable deliberate. Henry's stomach tightened. We're saving for the house remodel, he said. How much is this trip? Ella's eyes flicked up, dismissive. It's on our joint card. Don't make this a thing, Henry. I need this. The joint card. No discussion. No heads up. Henry leaned back, calculating. They'd agreed to consult on any purchase over $500, especially after paying off her SUV. You didn't think to mention it? He pressed, his tone still measured. Said, exasperative. I'm suffocating here, Henry. This suburban life, the routine, it's killing me. I need to breathe. Her words stung, framing their life as a cage. Henry's jaw clenched, but he stayed silent. She'd already decided. Over the next 2 days, Ella's behavior shifted. She spent hours researching Miami hotspots, trendy clubs, oceanfront restaurants, her phone buzzing constantly with messages from Trevor, labeled with a camera emoji. Henry raised an eyebrow. Who's Trevor? He asked casually, pouring coffee. Ella's response was too quick. Vanessa's friend, a photographer. He's showing us around. Her defensiveness sparked a warning in Henry's mind. That night, her phone glowed in the dark, her soft laughter breaking the silence as she texted well past midnight. Henry's suspicions grew. While Ella packed, he dug into Trevor's Instagram. The guy wasn't a seasoned photographer, but a 20-something aspiring model, his feed a parade of shirtless gym selfies and captions about living the Miami dream. Worse, his recent post placed him at the same South Beach hotel Ella had booked. Henry's pulse quickened. This wasn't a girl's trip. He screenshot everything, his engineer's instinct kicking in, document, analyze, prepare. Then came a call from Clara, Ella's younger sister. Henry, I hate to ask, she said, her voice heavy with exhaustion. My divorce just finalized, and I can't afford rent in Phoenix. Can I crash in your guest room for a bit? Clara, a nurse who'd spent months battling her ex in court, sounded desperate but grounded. Henry saw an opportunity. Of course, he said. We'll make it official. Temporary residency, legal protections. You'll be safe here. Clara's relief was palpable. Thank you. I'll help with bills. Stay out of your way. The next morning, as Ella's Uber pulled away, Henry sprang into action. He updated their homeowner's insurance, adding Clara as a temporary resident. He filed paperwork with their gated community's HOA, ensuring Clara's legal status was ironclad. Their neighborhood was strict about unauthorized guests, and Henry wasn't taking chances. He also changed the Wi-Fi password, citing routine security updates, but really to test Ella's reaction when her devices couldn't connect during her next call home. By evening, Ella's Instagram lit up with posts from Miami. Cocktails at a rooftop bar, a sunset selfie with Trevor lingering in the background. The caption read, "Rediscovering me." Henry's chest tightened, not from jealousy but from clarity. Her girl's trip was a lie, and she was documenting it for the world. He opened their bank app, watching charges roll in. $2,000 for a spa day, $1,500 for a private beach cabana. Each transaction fueled his resolve. This wasn't just betrayal, it was financial sabotage. Henry dialed their bank. I've noticed unusual activity on our joint account, he said, voice calm but firm. I'd like to freeze it pending a fraud investigation. The representative, sympathetic, set up alerts and holds requiring Henry's approval for any purchase over $200. Ella's spending spree was about to hit a wall. As he hung up, Clara arrived with a small suitcase, her eyes grateful but weary. You're a lifesaver, she said, setting up in the guest room. Henry nodded, his mind already on the next step. Ella thought she was escaping. She had no idea what was coming. Henry woke to a notification from their bank app. A $3,200 charge for a yacht rental in Miami, posted to their emergency credit card. His jaw tightened. That card was for hospital bills or house repairs, not Ella's reckless escapades. He checked her Instagram. A new post showed her laughing on a boat, Trevor's arm around her waist, with the caption, "Chasing Freedom." The comments from her friends were already piling up, some questioning where Henry was. She ignored them, but Henry saved every post, building his case. He called Clara, who was settling into the guest room. "Can you meet me at the HOA office today?" he asked. "I need to finalize your residency paperwork." Clara agreed, her voice steady despite her recent divorce ordeal. At the office, Henry submitted updated forms, ensuring Clara's legal status as a resident was airtight. The HOA manager, a stickler for rules, approved the change instantly, noting that any new occupants would need Henry's consent. He nodded, a plan forming. Back home, Henry logged into their security system and revoked Ella's remote access. Her smart locks and garage code wouldn't work when she returned. "Routine maintenance," he told the system provider, but it was a calculated move to control her reentry. He then contacted their bank again, escalating the fraud alert. "My wife's making unauthorized charges," he explained. The representative tightened the restrictions, requiring Henry's verbal approval for any transaction. Ella's financial leash was now short. Meanwhile, Ella's Miami posts grew bolder. A photo showed her and Trevor at a neon-lit nightclub, clinking glasses worth $300 each, according to the bank alert Henry received moments later. Another $1,800 charge hit for a private dining experience. Henry's phone buzzed with a text from Ella, "Having the time of my life. You should try it sometime." The jab stung, but he didn't reply. Instead, he forwarded the message to his lawyer, Sarah, whom he'd found through a colleague's recommendation. Sarah's office in downtown Phoenix was a no-nonsense space, her desk stacked with case files. Henry laid out everything. Ella's secret trip planning, the drained emergency fund, Trevor's constant presence in her posts. He slid his phone across the desk, showing screenshots of charges and Instagram evidence. Sarah scanned them, her expression unreadable. "This is a strong case for legal separation," she said. Her financial recklessness and public behavior suggest emotional abandonment. "Arizona's community property laws favor you if we prove she's misusing joint assets." They drafted a separation petition, citing irreconcilable differences and financial misconduct. Sarah emphasized Ella's unauthorized spending as grounds for protecting Henry's assets. "Her social media posts are a goldmine," she added. "They show intent to disregard the marriage." Henry signed the initial documents, his hands steady, but his chest heavy. This wasn't revenge, it was survival. That evening, Clara cooked dinner, a simple gesture that felt grounding. Over plates of grilled chicken, she shared her own story of betrayal. Her ex-husband's hidden debts had tanked her credit. "You're doing the right thing," she told Henry. "Ella's choices aren't your fault." Her words bolstered his resolve. He checked the bank app again. A $4,500 charge for custom vacation mementos from a Miami jeweler. He shook his head, forwarding the alert to Sarah. Ella's next Instagram story showed her and Trevor on a private beach, her hand on his chest, the caption reading, "When someone sees the real you." The post was a gut punch, but Henry saved it, noting the timestamp. He cross-referenced it with a bank charge for a $2,000 cabana rental at the same location. Her affair was now public, and she was funding it with their future. Friends' comments grew sharper. "Where's Henry?" one asked. Ella replied, "Some people prefer their comfort zones." Henry smirked. She had no idea he was rewriting the rules. He called the bank one last time, confirming the freeze on all accounts. "I'll need to verify any charges in person," he instructed. The representative complied, locking Ella out of further spending. As Henry hung up, Clara walked in with a stack of mail. "This came for you," she said, handing him a letter from their mortgage lender. It was a routine statement, but it reminded Henry of the stakes, their home, their savings, everything he'd worked for. He wouldn't let Ella's betrayal destroy it. By nightfall, Ella's posts showed no sign of slowing. A boomerang of her dancing with Trevor at a rooftop bar racked up views, her carefree laughter a stark contrast to the storm brewing in Phoenix. Henry's phone pinged with another bank alert, a declined $600 charge for a spa package. Ella's paradise was starting to crack. He leaned back, picturing her confusion when the next charge failed. The trap was set, and she was walking right into it. Henry's phone buzzed at 7:14 a.m. with a frantic text from Ella. "Why is my car declined? Fix this now." He ignored it, sipping his coffee while reviewing the latest bank alert. A rejected $800 attempt for Miami boutique purchase. Ella's carefree Miami adventure was unraveling, and Henry was ready to tighten the screws. He opened his laptop, pulling up the separation documents Sarah had emailed. Every charge, every Instagram post was now cataloged as evidence of Ella's betrayal. Clara joined him at the kitchen table, her nurse's scrubs neatly pressed despite her early shift. "Any word from her?" she asked, glancing at his phone. Henry shook his head. "Just panic. She's starting to feel the walls closing in." Clara nodded, her own experience with a cheating ex giving her quiet sympathy. She handed Henry a signed lease agreement for the guest room, cementing her legal residency. "This protects us both," she said. Henry filed it with the HOA, ensuring no loopholes remained. He drove to Sarah's office, the Phoenix skyline gleaming under the morning sun. Sarah greeted him with a stack of revised documents. "We're adding a temporary restraining order," she explained. Ella's reckless spending and public affair justify restricting her access to the house until the separation is finalized. Henry agreed, signing the forms. Sarah also suggested a forensic accountant to trace Ella's unauthorized charges, strengthening their case for asset division. "She's digging her own grave online," Sarah noted, scrolling through Ella's latest post, a selfie with Trevor at a rooftop pool, captioned, "Living my truth." Back home, Henry monitored the bank app. Another declined charge popped up, $1,200 for a yacht charter extension. Ella's texts escalated, now a mix of anger and desperation. "This is humiliating. Call the bank, Henry." He didn't respond, instead forwarding the messages to Sarah. Her public posts were becoming reckless. Photos of her and Trevor at exclusive venues, his hand on her waist, while Vanessa, her supposed trip partner, was absent from every frame. Friends' comments grew pointed. "Is Henry okay with this?" one asked. Ella's vague reply, "He's fine where he is," only fueled suspicion. Henry met Clara for lunch at a nearby diner, needing a break from the tension. Over sandwiches, she shared a call she'd received from their cousin, Mia, who'd seen Ella's posts. "Mia's worried about you," Clara said. She asked why Ella's acting like she's single. Henry's lips twitched into a grim smile. "She'll find out soon enough." He confided his plan to Clara. Let Ella's actions expose her, then serve the separation papers when she returned. Clara nodded. "She's always chased what shines. This time, it's going to burn her." That afternoon, Henry visited the locksmith who'd changed the house's locks the day before. He added a secondary deadbolt, ensuring Ella couldn't bypass security with an old key. The locksmith, a gruff retiree, raised an eyebrow, but complied. "Trouble at home?" he asked. Henry shrugged. "Just protecting what's mine." Back at the house, he tested the new locks and updated the security cameras to record any attempted entry. Every move was calculated, legal, and deliberate. Ella's next Instagram story showed her at a beachside restaurant, toasting with Trevor as the sun set. The caption read, "Moments that matter." Henry cross-checked the timestamp with a bank alert, a declined $500 dinner charge. He imagined her face as the waiter returned her card, Trevor fumbling for his own, equally useless plastic. Her next text came at 9:42 p.m. "This isn't funny, Henry. I am stranded. Fix it." He saved the message, noting her refusal to acknowledge the deeper issue. Sarah called with an update. "The restraining order's filed," she said. "It bars Ella from entering the house without your permission. We've also flagged her spending as potential fraud with the bank." Henry felt a weight lift, replaced by cold resolve. He emailed Sarah more screenshots. Ella's posts now showed her and Trevor at a jewelry store, her hand flashing a new bracelet that matched a $3,000 charge attempt, also declined. The bank's fraud team was now investigating, requiring Henry's approval to release any funds. As night fell, Clara returned from her shift, bringing takeout. They ate in silence, the hum of the TV filling the space. A notification pinged. Ella's latest post, a boomerang of her dancing with Trevor, captioned, "No regrets." The comments were brutal, friends openly questioning her marriage, one writing, Hope Henry's cool with this. Ella silenza spuka abulumas. Henry leaned back, his plan clicking into place. Ella's world was crumbling, and she was too blinded by her freedom to see it. Henry's phone lit up at 2:47 p.m. with a voicemail from Ella, her voice a mix of fury and panic. "Henry, my cards are dead, and I'm stuck in Miami. You need to fix this now." He let it play, saving it as evidence while finalizing Clara's residency paperwork. Another declined charge pinged the bank app. $700 for a Miami nightclub. Ella's dream escape was imploding, and Henry was ready to deliver the final blow. He emailed Sarah the latest screenshots. Ella's Instagram story of her and Trevor at a rooftop bar captioned, "No limits." Clara arrived home from her hospital shift, her eyes scanning Henry's laptop. "She's still posting?" she asked, incredulous. Henry nodded, showing her a photo of Ella and Trevor on a private beach, her hand on his shoulder. "She's burning through our emergency fund," he said. "But the banks locked her out." Clara's lips tightened. "She's always run from responsibility." "Now it's catching up." Henry agreed, his focus shifting to the separation documents stacked neatly on his desk. Sarah called, her tone brisk. "The restraining order's active," she confirmed. "Ella can't enter the house without your approval. The accountant's report shows $22,000 in unauthorized charges, enough to sway a judge." Henry exhaled, relief mixing with resolve. He instructed Sarah to prepare the final separation papers, citing Ella's financial recklessness and public affair as grounds for asset protection. "She's handed us an airtight case," Sarah said, emailing the documents for review. Ella's texts grew frantic. "I can't pay for anything, Henry. Trevor's cards are maxed out. Call the bank." Henry ignored them, instead contacting the Phoenix police to register the restraining order, ensuring any attempt by Ella to force entry would be documented. He then met with the HOA president, confirming Clara's residency status was fully compliant. "No one else can claim occupancy without your signature," the president assured him, handing over the updated registry. Back home, Henry checked Ella's Instagram. Her latest post showed her alone at a cafe, her smile forced, captioned, "Taking a moment to reflect." The absence of Trevor was telling. Comments from friends now openly speculated about her marriage. "Is everything okay with you and Henry?" One wrote. Ella didn't respond. A bank alert confirmed another declined charge, $400 for a hotel spa. Henry pictured her scrambling, unaware that her financial lifeline was severed. Clara suggested they review the house's security footage. "Just in case she shows up early," she said. They watched clips from the front door camera, ensuring it captured any activity. Henry upgraded the system to send real-time alerts to his phone, a precaution against unexpected moves. As they worked, Clara shared a text from their aunt, who'd seen Ella's posts and called her behavior disgraceful. "The family's talking," Clara said. "She's losing their support." Henry nodded, his plan gaining momentum. Ella's next voicemail came at 8:03 p.m., her tone desperate. "Henry, I'm borrowing Vanessa's card for a flight home tomorrow. You owe me an explanation." He saved it, noting her refusal to acknowledge her actions. Sarah texted, confirming the accountant had traced an additional $5,000 in charges to Miami vendors, including a jewelry store where Ella had bought a custom necklace. Henry forwarded the evidence, his anger tempered by strategy. Every misstep Ella made strengthened his case. He drove to a local notary to certify copies of the separation papers, ensuring they were ready to serve. The notary, a quiet woman, processed the documents efficiently. "This looks serious," she remarked. Henry gave a tight smile. "It's necessary." Back home, he placed the papers in a sealed envelope by the front door, ready for Ella's return. Clara, meanwhile, updated the utility accounts to include her name as a secondary holder, further solidifying her legal presence in the house. Ella's final Instagram post of the night showed her at the airport, her caption vague, heading home to sort things out. The comments were ruthless, friends and followers questioning her choices. One writing, "Hope Henry's ready for this mess." Henry saved the post, his resolve ironclad. Ella's return would mark the end of her reckless spree and the start of her reckoning. He and Clara reviewed the security settings one last time, ensuring the house was a fortress. The stage was set, and Ella was walking into a trap of her own making. Henry stood by the living room window, watching Ella's Uber pull into the driveway at 7:23 p.m. Her steps were heavy, dragging a suitcase as she approached the front door. He'd prepared for this moment, the envelope of separation papers resting on the entry table. Clara, fresh from her hospital shift, stood nearby, her presence a quiet anchor. Ella's key scraped the lock, then stopped, the new deadbolt held firm. She pounded on the door. "Henry, open this right now," she shouted, her voice sharp with indignation. Henry spoke through the door, his tone calm but unyielding. "Ella, your residency status has changed. I'm sliding legal documents under the door. Read them." He pushed the envelope through the gap, the chain lock keeping the barrier secure. Ella's muffled curse followed as she tore it open. Silence fell, then a gasp. "Separation? You can't do this," she yelled, her voice cracking. Henry didn't flinch. "You've been served, Ella. It's all there. Your spending, your posts, your choices." Clara stepped forward, her nurse's composure steady. "I'm a legal resident here now," she said through the door. "Arizona law and HOA rules require current residents' approval for re-entry. You need to find somewhere else to stay." Ella's response was a furious shout. "This is my house. You can't just move in, Clara." Henry interjected. "It's my house, Ella. Your actions, $27,000 in unauthorized charges, your public affair, voided your claim." Ella's phone buzzed audibly, likely notifications from her Instagram, where friends' comments had turned hostile. "You're throwing away our marriage over a trip?" she demanded, banging the door again. Henry held up his phone. Though she couldn't see it, its screen filled with screenshots of her with Trevor, yachts, dinners, that damning beach photo. "You threw it away," he said. "The evidence is online for everyone to see." A neighbor's porch light flicked on, drawn by the commotion. Henry opened the door, just enough to meet Ella's eyes, the chain still in place. "The restraining order bars you from entering," he said. "The bank's investigating your charges as fraud. You're cut off." Ella's face crumpled, a mix of shock and realization. "You froze my cards?" she whispered, clutching the papers. "You left me stranded." Henry's voice stayed level. "You stranded yourself." Clara handed Henry a USB drive with backed-up security footage, a precaution against any false claims. "The cameras caught everything," she said loudly enough for Ella to hear. Ella's protests grew frantic. "I'll fight this, Henry. You can't humiliate me like this." But her voice wavered, betraying her crumbling confidence. Henry slid a business card through the door, Sarah's contact info. "Talk to my lawyer," he said, closing the door firmly. Ella lingered on the porch, her suitcase abandoned as she paced, dialing numbers that went unanswered. Henry watched via the security app as she called Vanessa, then Trevor, her agitation growing. A text from Sarah confirmed the court had scheduled a hearing for the separation in 2 weeks. "Her social media posts will bury her," Sarah wrote. Henry forwarded the latest. Ella's airport post from last night, now flooded with comments questioning her loyalty. Clara brewed coffee, the routine grounding them both. "She didn't see this coming," she said, setting a mug in front of Henry. He nodded, feeling a strange calm. "She thought I'd just take it." They reviewed the accountant's report, detailing Ella's $27,000 spree: jewelry, yacht rentals, private dinners. Every charge was a nail in her case. Henry emailed the report to Sarah, who replied, "This ensures you keep the house and most assets." Ella's final attempt came via voicemail at 9:15 p.m., her tone pleading. "Henry, let's talk. I messed up, okay? I'll pay it back." He saved it but didn't respond. She'd burned through their emergency fund, flaunted her affair, and ignored their marriage. Now, she faced the consequences. The security camera showed her climbing into a cab, her suitcase in tow, as she left the property. Henry sat back, the weight of 10 years lifting. Clara smiled faintly. "You're free now," she said. He nodded, already planning to list the house, start fresh. Ella's Instagram went silent, her followers' questions unanswered. Justice wasn't loud. It was methodical, legal, and final.